Hey there, and welcome to the Become a Guitarist Today podcast with myself, Adam Roach. Now, I just want to let you know, if you do like what you're watching and listening to, please don't forget to subscribe and like. That'd be greatly appreciated. So, enjoy the interview. See you real soon. Bye.
Hey there.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, I'm in Budapest, Hungary at the moment. We are doing
Oh,
rehearsals here and kicking off our European tour tomorrow in Austria. So, yeah.
so you guys are off here tomorrow, like you're saying, and you've actually got two sold out shows, haven't you, at the moment in Budapest and Stuttgart?
Yeah, there's actually another two shows that have been sold out
Oh,
recently as well, on the
oh,
tour, and some other ones that are close to it. So it's looking very exciting.
wow, that's awesome. Have to get you guys down here again. Oh, not again, but for you anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Uh, I love Australia, so I
Yeah,
want to come back whenever I can.
that's it. I saw you last year with Amaranthe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at which
in
show
Melbourne.
was it?
Melbourne.
In Mel. Oh, right. Yeah,
Yeah, Northcote Theatre, I think it was.
yeah. Great show. Very cool venue,
Yeah.
scenic venue. Yeah. I think it was terrific, and the audience seemed to have a great time, and we had a terrific time as well. And it's just an amazing venue to play uh, in that regard, and just it's fantastic
Yeah.
in general.
I mean, you guys sound amazing, so it was really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
You had
Yes,
was the fill-in singer, wasn't it? The other guy.
that's correct. Sammy, who we had with us
Hmm.
on those shows. Yeah. Um, he well, it's not the first time that he had done fill-in shows for Amaranth. We was just very lucky that we could bring him for that one. I think he did a terrific job.
Oh yeah,
I don't know many people who could do it just like that, to just fit in immediately. And I mean, Amaranth is not exactly, when it comes to being a singer, it's not the easiest part. I mean, you had to coexist with two other singers on stage and
yeah,
synchronize and move very well together and all that stuff. So it's just, you
yeah.
did a terrific job.
Elise was on the podcast just before the tour as well. And I had Morton on a while ago talking about the drums and everything. So you're the third one now.
Right. Very cool.
Yeah, but we're here to talk about Dynasty.
Yeah.
Now I said that
Do you
right.
say by the way, do you say dynasty or dynasty in Australia?
I used to say Dynasty, but I saw a lot of people saying Dynasty. So
Well, it's whatever you prefer. Sometimes it's refreshing for me to hear dynasty as well. It
yeah,
just
yeah.
reminds me of there's another pronunciation for it.
So the album, yeah, Game of Faces. I had to listen to it yesterday and today, and I say it's fantastic. So congratulations, first of all, on that great album.
Thank you very much. Glad to hear it.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I mean, I got my favourites, which we'll go into, but first of all, can you just tell us just a bit about the album? I mean, I know some people said it's a bit of a concept. Is that right, or is it more just songs?
Um, it's not a concept album per se, or anything like that. I think it's 11 individual tracks, individual themes, but there are some reoccurring themes, I would say, especially when it comes to the lyrical content, and the Game of Faces kind of theme. It is what sort of brings everything together, I guess. And this is why we chose it as the title track and as, the cover art and everything. So it was representative of the whole album, I would say.
Yep. And you wrote all the lyrics, didn't you, for the album?
Yeah.
Yep. So how do you go about in the way you write it? Do you like guys write it as together, or you just get the music first and then write the lyrics?
Well, we start with the music and the melodies and everything, and then I, piece the lyrics together,
Yeah,
like the final detail that you want to nail down when you're actually writing the songs. And I think it's an important aspect of especially when it comes to writing melodies. When you put lyrics on it, it has to flow in a certain way. That's really important. Um, but what I do typically is I try to have the lyrical content grow out organically from the songwriting itself. So the song gives me something like an idea, like this is the kind of words or the kind of stuff that maybe even a title comes to you, like this should be the title, and then you grow something out of that seed that the song plants itself, and then you sort of like a puzzle, you fit the lyrics in there and you try to make it into something that fits the whole, and generally something that enhances the song or like speaks for the song itself.
yeah, for sure. So do you play guitar as well?
Well, yeah, I can play guitar, but
Yeah.
I don't play the guitar in any albums.
Oh, no, no,
Obviously,
no.
we have
Yeah. I mean,
two
just
terrific guitar players to do that. But I can, and when writing songs, it's very useful for me that
yeah,
I can play guitar pretty well.
yeah. So I was just going to ask you because I know for myself sometimes writing some songs for lyrics and everything, I get the melody on the guitar and then write the words to that melody. So do you ever do that, or is it just more vocally?
Usually, it's always vocally. I improvise over something, or it just somehow comes to you what kind of melodies. But usually, if we have, for example, if we start with an instrumental idea, like then I sort of jam vocals over it, and I was like, this that jam was perfect, and should just tweak it a little bit like this, and then you sort of have a vocal melody. But sometimes I also start with a vocal melody. So maybe sit down with an acoustic guitar or a piano even, and you sort of like feel like this is the chord structure, this is the melody structure, and then you can start building it into a real song. So
Yeah,
it's a little bit from case to case, and it has actually happened that sometimes you sit down with a guitar and just play something, and all of a sudden there's a melody there, and then you try to sing it. It's like, wow, that sounds great, singing it as well.
yeah,
And sometimes it doesn't work. That's the interesting thing with when you transfer something from one instrument to another, is that sometimes it works amazing, sometimes it sounds good on guitar, but it doesn't sound good singing it. And
yeah,
you know it's uh it's a dynamic thing, writing songs. You think you found one formula that will always work, and
yeah,
then you try it in a different situation and it just doesn't work, and then you find I find another method of coming to the right conclusion melodically.
yeah. Well, that's a perfect way to say it because I know melodically, listening to this album, like that's what really come across to me anyway. Like your melodies and your even the lyrics, the way you do it, but you can actually even picture it as just like a guitar doing those melodies and being an instrumental album, but with your vocals and lyrics. If you know what I mean?
Right.
Really nice melodies you come up with vocally.
Right, sure. I mean, there's also a lot of, when you are writing vocal melodies, especially if you have like an instrumental idea or it starts like that,
Yeah,
you should always, you shouldn't consider it as two separate things. Like what is happening on the guitar and the vocals, they are two separate things. So you listen to whatever you have, and you sort of feed off of it. And sometimes it might be following exactly what the guitar does, or sometimes it might be in contrast, or like in the breathing pauses between what the guitar is doing. That's where you fit the vocal melody. And it's just like I said before, it's like from case to case, and from each individual song. You can never use one kind of formula or one kind of method. You just have to listen to the song individually, and try to figure out what does the song really need me to do vocally. Or if you start at the opposite side of the spectrum, you start with a vocal melody, then you need to figure out what the rest of the music needs to do in order to create this, or to build it into a cohesive and very good song.
yeah, that's exactly right. That's great. And it's a really good insight too. Yeah, it's good hearing people, different people where they songwrite and everything. It's really good. Everyone's different.
Are you sure? Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Like I actually wrote an album during COVID, and had a collaboration of all different guitarists from around the world. But the verses were all guitar melodies, but the vocals come in on the pre-chorus and choruses. So it was,
Okay.
yeah, it was very different. It was really good.
Yeah, it sounds interesting.
Yeah, it was more like I say 80s rock. We had different people like Jennifer Batten from Michael Jackson's band played guitar on it, and a few
Wow.
people from Thailand and just all over the world. It was really good.
Right.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
There's always unique ways. I think innovating and trying out new ways is definitely the way to go to get out of the comfort zone of writing music.
That's right. Yeah,
And you never want to be in the comfort zones.
no, exactly. Now, just going through some of the songs. So the opener, which is an amazing song, "Call of the Night." So now that first of all, when I hear that, because I always write down notes, what comes in my head straight away. That reminds me like a good opener for a set list. So is that the case, or is that just me picturing that?
This is why we put it, just at like the first song on the album, is because it felt like a very natural opening song.
Yep.
What actually the intro on the song was something we did after we decided that this would open the album. So okay, let's put a little bit of an extended intro in there as well. And once you have that thing in place, it's a very obvious opener. And we're actually not going to open with that song when we kick off the tour tomorrow. For some other reasons, we have something else in mind, but it would definitely work very well as a show opener as well.
Yep.
And it will probably be at a later point. It will most likely be a show opener.
Yeah. Well, hopefully when you come to Australia, there'll be opener.
Might be. Yeah.
Actually, I did see another interview. I can't remember who with, but you were talking to someone about, I think it was before the album was released, and you did a show where you actually opened up one of the songs from this album. That's
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that in December last year. We had 3 shows booked, big festival shows in Germany. And at that point, we had already released a couple of singles from the album, which we wanted to play live. And then we just had this a little bit of a curveball in terms of ideas, or an odd idea of actually opening the shows with a song that had not been released, which was "Fortune Favors the Brave" off of the album. I guess maybe the title itself sort of gave me that idea that we should just try this. I knew for a fact it would be a very interesting song to play live in general. It has that kind of bouncy, almost disco-esque beat that usually works in really great, in big venues or in festival stages. That's the kind of beats that really gets the crowd going. So we wanted to try this, and also a little bit for us as well, because we have been out playing live a lot now over the past few years, basically since the COVID restrictions lifted. We played the same kind of songs and opening the show with the same kind of songs. So even a little bit for us to wake us up a little bit and give us an extra edge or challenge or whatever, we decided to try this on these particular shows in December. And I think it turned out great. It was a bit of a surprise, especially for our fans who were there, front row, and were expecting something that they already knew, obviously, but here came a song that they never heard before. So it was, if nothing else, it was a very fun experiment to try.
Yeah, well, it sounded like it worked, so that's good.
Yeah.
But it's funny though, they mentioned that song. I didn't realize it was that song, but I wrote down some notes for that one because that was a really good, catchy melody that comes to my head. Like I always like to have a jam along to the songs when I'm listening to it. And this one's tuned up, so it's not in the same tuning, but it had whatever it was, it was just a really good tune.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dun, 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 dun,
yeah.
dun,
The
dun,
timing was
dun.
wrong. So
Dun, 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 dun,
yeah,
dun.
so that little offbeat there.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, it's one of those. It's one of those simplistic melodies where you can just you can do a lot behind the melody that will
Mm,
push it in itself. It's not very, fantastic, but if you add something that's really groovy behind it and you really add that kind of instrumental push, then it becomes something else entirely. And
yeah,
it's like those simplistic things is something that we like to play around with a lot because it just gives so much space for everything. If you have a simple melody, you can, add tons of stuff in the background and make it very, very effective.
yeah. You know, it's a great song, and you know, I have to do an acoustic version of it. I was sort of trying to do it with the bass line. So that's why I did it in a different key. It's easy to,
All right, yeah. So you can use the
yeah,
A
yeah,
string
yeah.
or the E string. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
it sounds good. That's a good idea. Actually, for an acoustic version.
that's it, exactly.
Yeah.
Just have to sing a bit higher, that's all. Which I'm sure is no problem for you.
Nah, nah. It should be fine.
Actually, while I've got the guitar, I really want to talk about this song, uh, Fire to Fight. Now, this song
Right.
really blew my mind. The key changes in this song. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
But the
That's
thing is,
interesting to
yeah,
talk to another songwriter and musician about it because this was a tricky thing to figure out uh, with the key changes because we wrote ourselves into a corner a little bit and
mm,
had to find a way to get out of it. Um, I think the reason behind the key changes was because we wanted the vocal melody for the verses to be like they were,
yeah,
and then we wanted the vocal melody for the chorus, but the difference in um the verse was kind of high vocally and the chorus was kind of low,
yeah,
so we had to find a way to so we it's a full note up in the
yeah,
first chorus.
exactly.
And then the problem arose for the second verse was that it didn't really sound very good going back down to the original key. So we just kept it in the same key as the first chorus.
Yeah.
And what do you have to do for the next chorus where you up it again? And this, when we were trying to figure out how to solve all this, it just made me think of a Scorpion song where they use this trick, which
Okay.
is "Send Me an Angel," which is a totally different kind of song. It's a ballad,
Yeah.
but they use this trick. So they go a full note up in the first chorus, and then they stay in that key for the second verse, and then they up it again for the second chorus.
Okay.
So that just made okay. We can solve it like this, and we tried it out, and I think it just works. It just makes the song go like this all the time.
It's amazing. I mean, the way it works, though. I mean, he said, you know, I mean, you can hear it, but musically, it sounds great. You know, it doesn't sound,
Yeah.
oh, there's a key change, but it's just the way it works into that verse, into the chorus, and then you got the special bonus at the end where it actually goes up even more to the B minor.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. We just once we had started making those key changes, we just went ballistic with it, and let's fun. Okay, let's just go all the way. Usually, when you write songs, I think sometimes you feel that it's a strong indicator of a song if you can keep it in the same key all the way.
Yeah.
That just means that you don't have to, you know, do some extra tricks to make it work or whatever.
Mm.
But sometimes when you really find those magical key changes, it can propel a song into a different kind of stratosphere, and it can just be a very, very exciting listen to some of those songs because they take you to places. It seems so unexpected, but at the same time so natural,
Yeah.
which is once you get it exactly right, it's a special thing
Oh, it
for
is.
sure.
You guys nailed it. Like I said, because I listened to the album first, and then I come back to the guitar and like jam along. And I thought, what's going on there? You know, what are they doing? Then it all just come together. But yeah, I just love the way you, like I say, keep it in that key, up,
Yeah,
and then up again, and then
exactly.
yeah.
Well,
So
it's kind of demanding vocally to always up the key like that, but it works. It just came together very well on this particular song, and it was a fun kind of knot to try to work out once we had started, upping the key. How do we solve this? And
Yep.
it just it fell into place.
You know, it's awesome. So, I mean, the other one was the one we spoke about before, the Fortune Favors the Brave. I noticed that had a few key changes as well.
Yeah,
And
especially the solo section, and towards the end there's a final key change as well.
that's right, yeah.
Towards the very end, yeah.
But again, yeah, it works. Now, one of my favorite songs, I'd say, would be the Dream of Spring.
Right.
Music, I mean, your vocals on that is just crazy good. And the solos are good. Actually, the part after the guitar solos, your vocal, it's like, is that you? I thought it might have been Elise maybe guest starring or something. I thought, wow, it's so high.
Yeah. It's I've done a lot of those really high pitched vocals over the years, and sometimes I've dialed it back because I got a little fed up with myself and just wanted to. But for this album, there's a lot of that high stuff, and but in general, it should never be. You should never squeeze it into a song just because, okay, let's make some high stuff. It should really be warranted by the song itself. It should feel natural and that the song demands you to do this,
Yep.
and not that you're demanding the song to do it for you. And with this one, it already had quite high vocals already in the main chorus, like the end part. It's actually the same melody as in the verses, just an octave higher in the chorus.
Okay.
So it's actually like the pre-chorus is also the back end of the main chorus. That's the same part. So once we came to that part after the guitar solo, I just sang the original pre-chorus one octave higher. So yeah, that's why.
Well, no, that's great. Like I said, it's a really good song. When I first heard it, the thing that came to my head was like you were talking before about Scorpions, Winds of Change. I don't know if you've ever heard that before. I mean, not heard the song, but that comparison.
Never heard that song. No, it's actually that song was a bit of an inspiration for Dream of Spring. In general, lyrically as well. I mean, I basically wrote that about the new situation that arose in Europe after 2022. There's a war situation for the first time in Europe. For my generation, it's the first time of experiencing this, and so I just wrote a lyric kind of about that whole thing, about how peace and stability and things like this is just comes and goes like the seasons of of the year, and when you're in summer you have no thought about winter and that things could get worse or whatever, but eventually they seem to do sooner or later. And that just, I in the back of my mind, it just, I think I had a little bit of that wind of change, which was, the opposite. It was a very positive message that now things are changing and for the better, and things are opening up, and now it seems to head in the opposite direction a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could call this like the sequel to Winter Change.
Maybe, if you will.
Yeah. No, but again, it's a great song, one of my favourites. I mean, they're all great songs, but yeah, you've got to choose a couple of favourites. So are you doing most of these songs live from that new album?
Well, not all of them. Of course, we have other songs to play, but we're doing a bunch. I think it's at least 5 new songs in the set at this point. So it's going to be really exciting to debut another bunch of songs from the new album, and it's going to be really exciting to see how they work on stage and with the crowd and everything. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So do you guys, I know you got your set list, but even though you got the other songs that you're not doing from the album, do you still like rehearse them just in case you want to pull one out every now and then?
if we have time for
Yeah.
it. At this point, we haven't played all of the songs yet, but sooner or later, they're they will all be in our repertoire, and if there's it's also a way of knowing exactly how not exactly how they're going to feel live, but when you start rehearsing them, you get a very good feel for
Yeah.
how it would go down live. But the final test is always trying it on an audience, especially if you play like a festival or something like that, where there's a majority of the audience or a big part of the audience is like new people who probably maybe just heard a few songs of you or maybe not even one song of you. And if the song works on that crowd, then it's a good live song.
Yeah, exactly. Now, sorry, I just realized the time. You've got another interview now, haven't you?
Yes, that's correct.
Sorry. That's so quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been great talking to you, though. I mean, so, like I said, I love the album, and I'll hopefully see you guys in Australia. Maybe a double show with Amaranthe.
Oh, that would be a good package. Demanding for me, but
Exactly.
a very good package. I agree.
Yeah.
I want to come back to Australia as soon as possible. I love the country. I love being there, and it was a terrific time playing those shows for the first experience of playing live in Australia. So it's great. I want to come back as soon as possible.
I'm sure you'll be back.
Yeah, definitely. Okay,
Well, thanks very much
great
again.
talking to you.
Yep. Talk to you soon.
All right.
See you
See
later.
you.
Bye.
Bye.